What's up, Ravens fans? It is playoff week here in Baltimore. The Ravens are hosting a playoff game with the Chargers.
Feels good.
It feels good. It's nice to say that. And lots of good questions in the mailbag this week. Let's go ahead and start with this one from LGIV. And the question is, can we get more creative and start trusting Lamar Jackson's arm power instead of run, run, run?
Well, I think the misconception here is that you can't have creativity in the run game, that it only comes in the passing game. And that's just wrong. I mean, really, I point to one play as an example of this. Look at Lamar Jackson's 8-yard touchdown run in which he leapt over a Browns defender. On that play, left tackle Ronnie Stanley and left guard James Hurst both pull all the way around to the right side, and Ronnie really acts as a fullback going through the hole on that to clear the way for Lamar Jackson. You just don't see that kind of play. So look, we've all been wondering what's going to happen when teams just stack the box and force the Ravens to pass the ball. Teams aren't stupid. They know the Ravens' offensive identity right now. They've done that. They've brought extra defenders from all different sorts of angles, and guess what? The Ravens have still been able to run the ball.
Sunday's game was their highest rushing total of the entire season.
Exactly, and that's because they've been creative in their running game. They're doing it in all different sorts of ways. They're mixing it up and keeping opposing defenses on their toes. So yes, to the question of whether Lamar's going to throw the ball more and whether we're going to open up more of the passing game to him, yes, that will come with time, but there's no need to force it when the run game's going so well. And Lamar has made some big throws. I mean, there's been some situations down this final stretch where he's needed to make a big play. I don't think there's been a bigger play than his touchdown pass to Mark Andrews in LA.
That might be the biggest play of the season.
Look at that throw. I mean, there have been a number, so I wouldn't get too worried about the whole run-pass ratio. It's working, and Lamar's making the plays when he needs to.
Totally agree. Let's keep it moving. This one comes to us from Terry, and the question here is, given that 25% of the league is looking for a new head coach, what are the chances that a team tries to poach Wink Martindale? Well, this is an interesting question, and obviously it speaks to the fact that this defense has been fantastic, and Wink has done an excellent job in his first year as the team's defensive coordinator. I think people in Baltimore are starting to get a little nervous. And they remember kind of
we've seen this happen before.
Yeah, Chuck Pagano in his first year ended up going and getting the head coaching job with Colts, and I think people are starting to think, could this happen again? I do think that teams will call the Ravens about trying to interview Wink Martindale. He's done a great job, and teams are going to want to find ways to stop some of these explosive offenses. You know, the entire league is going towards offense. I think there's going to be teams that say, how do you stop these offenses? Get a great defense and get somebody in here that knows defense.
The Ravens have faced just about every really good offense in the NFL this year.
Yeah, it's true. All this success has come. The best defense in the NFL, you've gone up against the Saints. You've gone up against the Chiefs. You've gone up against the Chargers. And the Ravens still have the top-ranked defense. So
the Bucs, the Steelers.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see how it plays out, but I do expect him to get some calls and maybe an interview at least.
I'll add this. The further the Ravens go in the playoffs, the less likely they are to lose Wink Martindale because people want to make hires.
Yeah.
So if they have to wait until the Ravens win the Super Bowl, then they're going to be less likely to get Wink.
All right, let's finish up with the final question today. This one comes to us from Grant Anderson, and the question here is, how will the Ravens change up their game plan for facing the Chargers a second time around?
Yeah, well, this is really a unique situation, facing a team for the second time in 3 weeks. And I do think the Ravens are, of course, going to use a lot of the same fundamental principles and ideas that they had against the Chargers the first time around, considering it worked so well. Beat them 22-10, and it was a really dominant performance. But with that said, of course, you have to change things up. Now, the Ravens came after Phillip Rivers.
Yeah.
They hit him 8 times, sacked him 4 times. And, you know, it's funny, Rex Ryan, even this week, said, you think the Ravens blitzed a lot in that one. Wink Martindale's going to call blitzes 90% of the time in this one, so it wouldn't surprise me if the Ravens continued to bring a lot of pressure on Phillip Rivers. But of course, they're going to have to tweak some things in the offense and in the run game. The Chargers, they rebounded in the second half of that game and kind of bottled up the Ravens a little bit on the ground. The Ravens are going to have to figure that out and like we talked about in the first question, get creative and give some new looks in this running game.
Yeah, I totally agree. Well, look, it's going to be fun on Sunday. M&T Bank Stadium was packed last week and loud, and I expect the same thing this week. So that's it for us, but as always, send in the questions on social media using the hashtag RavensMailbag. Thanks for watching. Have a great day.